Let's do multiple choice question from paper 1, 2023 AS Chemistry. So the first question is, which atom contains the most neutrons? So if you don't know, you need to work them out separately, and you realize that iron is got an extra neutron. Okay, so C is the answer for that question. Now, question 10. So you got this information here, okay? So use this information question 10 to 11. A student completes, so that's 10 and 11 for this question. Completes the titration to determine the concentration of ethanoic acid in vinegar. So 25 centimeters vinegar transferred to conical flask using pipette. A few drops of naphthalene are added to the conical flask. Sodium hydroxide solution is added from a burette to the conical flask. Titration is repeated until concurrent results are obtained. Which suggestion improves the accuracy of the titers? Going through all this, rinsing the conical flask with water between each titration will improve the accuracy of the titers because you clear up any extra vinegar present on a conical flask. All the others are incorrect. Which suggestion decreases the percentage uncertainty in a mean titer? So the only answer for this is use a more dilute solution sodium hydroxide in a burette. All the others are incorrect. Okay? Okay, question number 12. Which reaction is the highest percentage at atom economy for the production of hydrogen? So you need to know that atom economy is MR desired product divided by MR total product. So you take all of them and you realize that is this one here. So it's got the highest percentage atom economy. So if you do the calculation, is this one here. Question 13. Which molecule has permanent dipole? So if you look at this NCl3, it's got lone pair, so it's got negative, positive charge dipoles there. So it's always going to be polar because dipoles don't cancel out. So therefore, that is your permanent dipole molecule. All the others are non-polar because dipoles cancel out. Which molecule can accept an electron pair during the formation of coordinated bond? So if you look at this one, aluminium chloride, because it's got no lone pairs here to donate, so it can accept a lone pair. Okay, all the others will have that. So I have to check them all. It's up to you to check them all. But that's the answer to that one there. So this is the one. So that's called lone pair. Silicon is, hold on. So the answer is this one here. That's the only correct one there. So which reaction has enthalpy change equal to standard enthalpy change of formation of potassium hydroxide? So remember, enthalpy change of formation is one mole compound formed from its constituent elements in their standard states and in their standard conditions. So it has to be this one here because they're in their standard states and it only forms one mole compound, okay? And they're in their standard conditions. Right, question 16. In which species chlorine is the highest oxidation state? So you work them all out and you work out this B because it's +7. Okay, so I'll put here explanation how I done that. So if you can't do oxidation, work out oxidation numbers, you can just have a look at those. So you just put, for example, here, because ClF2 is minus, so you can do ClF2 equals to -1. Then you rearrange everything to find chlorine, okay? You work out that's -2, goes the other side, it becomes +1. Okay, chlorine is +1, therefore that's the oxidation state of chlorine. So that's how you work out, and you work out all the others. Which statement about the Distrauss reaction is correct? So you have to work out which is oxidized, which is reduced. So if you look at this one here, SN2 plus is +2, and then when it goes up to here, this one here, it becomes +4. And then therefore, +2 + 4 is oxidation, and then chromium here is +6, it goes to +3, which is reduction. So anything is, so you need to work out which one is correct. So chromium 072- is the oxidizing agent. That's correct because it's oxidized. And it gains electrons. Oxidizing agent gains electrons. Which incomplete half equation is balanced by adding the two H plus ions of 1 electron into the left-hand side? So if you look at this one here, you just work out how to balance half equations. So you got VO2 plus, so it goes to V3 plus water. So you got 2 hydrogens there, so you have 2 hydrogens to balance. Then you got 2 plus 2 plus makes 4 plus, and there's only 3 plus, so you add 1 electron to make 3 plus, so it's equal charges, okay? Question 19. You got a series of tests here, so you need to know what they're for. So add a few drops of H2SO4. So you can do this as a test for carbonates. You can do this as a test for sulfates. Here, HNO3 is then a few drops of silver nitrate. So that's a test for halides, a test for positive ions or cations. And there's a test for, this one is, what do you call this? Is it, I forgot the name of the reaction. I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, sorry, it is a displacement reaction. Okay, so you need to know they are for. These are the answers to that, and then you got to answer those questions. Use information that to use answer question 19 to 23. So all the other questions. So which solution contains carbonate ions? So carbonate ions is something that shows effervescence. So it's Q is effervescence with H2SO4 because acid plus carbonate, it bubbles of CO2 gas comes out. And that one is got white precipitate, but that's different test. So you're looking at that test there for carbonates. What could be the identity of compound solution P? So if you look at solution P here is a white precipitate with H2SO4. So it's like barium sulfate. Test for barium sulfate. So if it is barium sulfate there, so you got white precipitate, so it's a sulfate present. It's a barium present, sorry. And then you have cream precipitate here, which is for bromine, so it has to be barium bromide there, okay? Because that's a test for halides. So you take two tests in account. Right, so it says, what observation expect test 2 for solution S? So S, so if you look at that table again, S is here, that's the answer, so you add in there. So if you add S, is a pale yellow precipitate. How do you know that? Because if you look at this one here, it says dark brown solution. So it means if you displace that with chlorine, it gives you iodide. So it gives you iodide. So that gives you iodine there, which is dark brown solution. So you know you're talking about iodine. So if you test for iodine, it's going to give you a yellow precipitate in there. So the answer is pale yellow precipitate for that one there. Okay, so that's your displacement reaction there. This has been discontinued because there was some information missing in the beginning of the question. What could be the identity of the compound in T, solution T? So we say magnesium chloride is a white precipitate for Cl2, okay? So, and white precipitate for Mng2 ions. So let's look at that, T here. So you got white precipitate when you add for halide ions. And then you got white precipitate when you have sodium hydroxide, which tests for cations. So those are, that has to be the magnesium, chloride present there, because barium and the others don't work. Okay. There's a couple of things I want to explain about this answer. So I did say that the test for positive ions, you need to know the color changes. So magnesium gives you a white precipitate with excess OH. Okay, that's what happened there. So white precipitate for magnesium. Okay, here white precipitate for magnesium and white precipitate for chlorine, negative ion. The barium one for positive ions will gives you no change, so you won't see anything. And then you have magnesium bromide, it can't be because the white precipitate for your chlorine there. And then you have your barium bromide, which you will see you still have, it will have a green precipitate. So that's the reason is a white precipitate for magnesium ions and white precipitate for chloride ions. I hope it makes sense so you don't get confused.